What's up, people? Welcome back to the What's on Your Mind podcast. It's been a minute. It's been a pretty long minute since the last time I posted any episodes, and I'm pretty sure this is the longest I've been absent from the podcast. And I wanted this episode, I'm going to dedicate this episode specifically to just being transparent about my mental state and relating to fellow college students. So if you don't want to hear me rant about my mental state, then I completely understand. You can go to the next episode because I'm most likely going to record multiple episodes and release them in batches like I usually do. But yeah, this semester for me personally has easily been the worst semester of my college experience. And that says a lot because I haven't really enjoyed being in college in general, but this one has easily been the worst. So to give an overview, I'm taking 5 classes currently, never doing that again. But I decided to take 5 classes because when I met with my college advisor, she let me know that eventually you're going to have to start taking more than 4 classes because of how your scholarship works. And if you don't, like if you continue to take 4 classes, you're going to either have to come out of pocket for some classes down the line or take summer classes. So I figured, you know what, I'll add one more class, make it 5 total, and go from there. Now, 4 classes as a freshman last year were a lot for me. So taking 5 logically never made any sense, but I tried to go based off what my instructor was telling me or my advisor was telling me because she recommended I take 6 classes. Now, I knew for sure that wasn't going to happen. So I tried to take 5 at the max, but that has led my mental state to being worse. And I saw a tweet the other day that said, one person I won't ever disrespect or judge is a college dropout. And I 1,000,000% agree because I know it's a joke amongst like college students and especially my friends to be like, oh, I'm about to drop out. But I have seriously thought about dropping out. And I hate that because there's a part of me that doesn't want to give up. As bad as my mental state, as worse as my mental state has gotten from being in school, I genuinely want a degree. I come from a family who's really smart. We've always been academically blessed, and there have always been people outside of my family to tell my parents that, oh, your kids are the smartest kids we've ever seen, and we want our kids to be like yours. And as smart as our family is, none of us have a bachelor's degree. My dad has an associate's, and my mom went to Wayne State, but she was pregnant with my older sister at a young age, and she ended up focusing on my sister more than being in school. So there's a part of me that wants to make my parents proud and allow them to be able to say that they raised someone who graduated from college with a bachelor's degree. Because my sister, she went to U of M, but she ended up dropping out for her own mental state and for her own peace of mind. And I've always told her that never look down on yourself because of it. Because my sister and I, and especially me, and I'll get to this later, we hold ourselves at such a high standard that we're our own worst enemy. And I look up to my sister so much for the things that she's done and what she still does. And the fact that she was able to overcome the things she overcame, even without having a college degree, I give her the most praise for that. So, as bad as my mental state is getting with being in school, like I said, I don't want to give up. One, for my parents, but also just for me, I genuinely want this. I just hate that I don't enjoy being in school because, again, this episode is going to be very transparent. I do not like the position I'm in my life because it would be easy to say, okay, I'm going to drop out from my mental state and just do something else. But I don't have anything else. Like, I don't have any money. I can't always ask my parents for money. And I'm trying to work right now as a full-time college student, and that also stresses me out a lot because I try to make time for work, and then the job I'm currently with, it's a good job, but it doesn't pay me a lot at all. And during this time of Christmas, I want to be able to get gifts for the people I care about, or just even get myself food, because eating for me is another hard struggle. I don't know if it has anything to do with my mental state. It probably does, but I've always been a very picky eater. And as I've gotten older, especially while being in school, it's gotten to the point where there are days that I don't want to eat because I'm tired of the dining hall food, or I'm tired of, at Michigan State, they're called combos, where there's like a little mini grocery store. You can get like noodles, chips, snacks, or whatever. But at least where the area I live at, or the area that stays open the most, a lot of it is very generic. A lot of college students who are listening to this, especially if you go to Michigan State, you would understand what I'm talking about. And for me, it's not as easy to eat different things, or to even want to eat, or to even remember to eat at this point. And I'm sure with me dealing with depression doesn't help that at all. And there have been moments where I've questioned, like, do I have an eating disorder? Because I barely eat anything. I don't like a lot of things. It's hard for me to eat. And there are a lot of things with my body that has me question, like, is something wrong with me? Like, why don't I try to eat different things? Why do I feel this way when I eat dairy products? And for the longest, I've probably been lactose intolerant because my parents say, like, when I was young, I couldn't really drink milk, and then my digestive system wasn't the best as a baby, and it still really isn't. But yeah, and when I try, like, for Thanksgiving was a whole nother fiasco. My Thanksgiving and my Thanksgiving break wasn't the best, but I was grateful to get time off of school. But I tried to eat like some macaroni like the next day, like leftovers, and like I couldn't eat. Like I was really hungry, and I took a spoonful of mac and cheese, and then my appetite went away. And it had me question like what's wrong with my body. And I hate asking myself this because I've asked myself this for years, just from being bullied and from being small. Just like, why does my body operate like this? Why does my mind operate like this? So with trying to be a full-time student and still trying to have a job, and then not getting paid enough, like I haven't, from the time I've worked, I haven't seen a check that reached $100. And when I look at my peers who are working while going to school and make good amount of money, and they're talking about like, oh, I'm getting this for people for Christmas, or like people in my life who are close to me who are saying like, hey, I want to get you something for Christmas and everything. But I tell them like, I wish I could get you something, or I wish I could get my parents something, or my sister, but I'm not in a position financially to really support myself. And it's even harder to want to get people something and want to give your last for people, but you just can't because you don't have the money to, or with the time that I don't have in school, there was a long period of time, really it's still going on, where I haven't been able to see like my friends in school a lot because they're busy as well, but I've been so busy and a lot of time has consumed me to the point where I barely have time to do anything for myself. And to put something good in this podcast, I announced this in my close friends, but I didn't really announce this like to many people. But I have been in a relationship. I'm with an amazing woman. She's one of the best things that have ever happened to me. And we've been together for a little over 2 months, and she has been someone who has helped me be less hard on myself, because I'm always telling her like, hey, I want to do this for you. Hey, I want to do this for my parents or my friends, but I don't have it, and it makes me feel bad that I can't do this. And she reminds me, like, cut yourself some slack. You're a full-time student. It's some things that just aren't possible. And it makes me feel, being in college makes me feel like my life is being rushed. And I was asking my parents the other day, like, are these things normal for a 19, 20-year-old to be going through? Like, Michigan State is pushing a lot of the sophomores off of campus to get apartments. And the apartments are like $500. The cheapest apartments we have found, like me and my friends and my girlfriend have found, is around $500, almost $500 a month. And I don't have that. Now, my financial aid would help with a lot of it, but I don't think to help with all of it. And I would still have to get another job or quit my job I'm at now to get another job or work multiple jobs to try and pay for things like utilities or the bill. And it just really stresses me out because I don't know what it's like to pay for apartment bills, or I don't know what it's like to do these things. And Michigan State makes me feel like I'm behind, because if I don't have enough money, I can't go to school, because I have holds on my account because there's money owed that I have to pay from the school just from being charged from the semester. And it makes me wonder, like, why do they need this money from us now? Why can't this be something we deal with once we graduate or later down the line? And then why are they pushing us off of campus and forcing us into a situation that is unrealistic? And what happens if I don't have money? What happens if I can't pay for apartments? Are they going to kick me off of campus and everything? And it's like, being in college makes me feel like I'm getting a slow start in everything, because I have peers who are like learning how to drive, who are in like universities, but they're learning how to drive, get cars. Some already have had cars. Some have jobs that pay them much more. And I'm just in a situation where I hate my life and I hate the position I'm in, because I'm trying really hard to get a degree. But when I ask myself, is this worth it? I always say no. Like, is it worth my mental state getting worse just for getting a degree? No, it's not. But part of me is stubborn and want to succeed and want the best for myself. And I want to create a life for people like my girlfriend or my family or my sister, to where they don't have to worry anymore. And it feels like, as much as people tell me to not have these things on my shoulders, it feels like these things are being pushed on me because of being in school. And they expect you to take 4 to 6 classes while also charging you to be here, while also telling you, hey, you need to be on an apartment for next year. You have to think about this now while you're going through finals. And it really stresses me out. And it's pushed me to very bad places in my mental state, to where I wish I was doing better. I wish I was happier. The reason why I mentioned my girlfriends, because with her and also her sister, her twin sister, who's also became a close friend of mine, without people like them and my other friends such as like Haley, Heaven, Kiana, without the people I've met here, I would not want to be here as in school or really alive. And it's been hard to communicate with my friends outside of school, because again, they're also busy, but it's gotten to a point where I would reach out and then they won't reach back out to me, or they won't be able to reach back out to me. And I try not to be so self-centered and be like, you guys aren't talking to me, but it gets to a point where I can only reach out so much. So I just really wish I was in a better position for myself. And this is the reason why I haven't been able to make podcast episodes, because all of my time has went to being a full-time college student. And while I don't seek pity at all, part of me doesn't even want to post this episode because it makes it seem like I'm just complaining. But this is really just a podcast to show that I understand. Like, as much as it hurts that I don't hear from my friends a lot, and there have been people in my life who've asked me, like, are they even really your friends if they never check on you, if they barely check on you? As much as it hurts, a part of me will always understand, because we're all stressed out. We're all going through things. We're all in positions that we're feeling forced to grow up. Because I'm famous for saying I don't feel like I'm grown. There's teen in my age for a reason. I'm 19 years old. I feel like the teen is in my age for a reason. And growing up has not been a great experience. Actually, the older I get, the more scared I get because I don't know how my life is going to turn out. I don't know if I'm going to be okay next year. I don't know if I'm going to graduate. I don't know if I'm going to be mentally okay if I do graduate. There's no guarantee I'm going to get a job once I get a degree. I don't like the major I'm in because the classes they're giving me make me hate the major, but the things I want to do in my life surround the major I'm in. So it's like I have to stick through these classes I hate and potentially failing a class, potentially failing 2 classes just to get to where I want to be. And it's like, I ask myself and I pray, like, am I going to be okay? And the fact that I don't know the answer to that makes me worried. So I give so much credit to the people in my life and my friends who are doing things. Like I have a friend named Imani. She just recently got her driver's license. And if I'm not mistaken, she also has a car. I'm not too sure. She posted her license and then a car afterwards. So I'm assuming that was her car. She's so incredible for that. And I don't know if she'll ever listen to this episode and get to this point to hear me give her flowers, but she's so incredible for that. And the fact that she's gotten to that point, it makes me so happy to see my friend so successful. Have another friend who is copy editor for our state news. Her name's Jada, my girlfriend's twin sister. She's senior copy editor. I forget her position. If she ever hears this, she'll probably correct me if I got it wrong. But she's in a very high position in the state news, and she's also a really smart student. And I don't know, the climate of college just forces you to compare yourself to your peers, even if you don't want to. Like, my girlfriend can tell me, it's okay, you're a full-time college student. It's okay if you don't make, a lot of money or if you're not able to work as much. But then you look over and you see, people with cars or you see people with jobs in school. And it's like, why am I trying so hard, but I still feel like I'm not trying enough? Or I still feel like I'm not doing enough. And it's not fun. I'll say this at the end of every episode. I appreciate anyone who listens to my podcast. And that's another thing. I'll probably mention this in my next episode that I post. Hearing that I'm good at what I do, whether that be writing or podcasting, but specifically podcasting, hearing that I have a talent for this, or having my friends ask me, when are the next podcast episodes coming up? We've been waiting for your podcast. It makes me so happy because I'm not used to giving myself credit. I mentioned earlier the standard me and my sister hold ourselves to, and specifically me, due to a lot of my trauma and a lot of things that went on in my life, I hold myself at such an unfair standard that if I don't come close to it, I feel like I'm failing myself. And I didn't think people would care about my podcast. I didn't think people would listen to me. I didn't think people would want to hear what I have to say. And the fact that people tell me that I am good at my podcast, or tell me things like, you're a good person, it just all means so much because I'm used to telling myself the opposite. I'm used to taking the things that people have told me and the trauma that I've gotten to tell myself that I'm not a good person. I don't deserve happiness. I don't deserve to be okay. And from being told that and from then telling yourself that, it's very hard to receive good praises about yourself. So that's the topic of my next episode. So I'm going to get to that next. Hopefully if I post it in order. But I always say thank you to those people who encourage me and tell me the good parts about myself, because I'm the last person to tell myself really anything good. And that's not good at all, but it's just the truth. And I appreciate everyone who listens to this podcast, and I appreciate the people in my life so much. And I hope you tune in for more episodes. Bye, guys. Thank you.